Chuck Carroll, SecurityGuideTV.com. My next contestant, what's your name?
Stephanie Drysdale.
And name your company.
My company is Prescient.
Spell that for the podcast listeners.
Sure. It's Prescient.
.com.
.com.
And what do you guys do?
We are a global risk mitigation firm. So we deal with investigations in cybersecurity as well as intel work.
Now, I like this global approach. I've always looked at things like they say, right, 30,000 feet. Because I think if you look at stuff globally, I think it all pushes down locally. I really think you see things globally trending, it kind of comes to your neighborhood eventually. I don't think it's the other way around.
Right.
I don't think it necessarily starts in your neighborhood and goes locally. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I would agree with you. I think that there are layers to everything, and they impact one another. So there might be global things that impact you at a local level, and there are also local things that are more applicable to you in your day-to-day life.
Is there too much data now, though? Are we getting to information sickness where we just, you know what, I can't disseminate that. I don't care how big my brain is. It's too much to know, and I feel people sometimes just kind of give up on it.
I agree with you, but I think that's where technology is helping us with machine learning and AI, trying to help us parse and sort and prioritize. And I think once we're able to do that, then we can just only take the relevant data that we need, knowing that we've combed through all of these various sources to get to it.
And how much of the human element does your company put into that?
So that's our sweet spot.
Okay.
So we don't ever just pump out an automated report. We've got analysts that come from all these various different backgrounds. Multiple language capabilities, different things. So when they get a hold of something, then they kind of apply their lens to it and make sure that the information that we're passing across is actionable and it's relevant to the situation that the client needs it for.
I think that's so important. I was doing some background checks for, let's just say, some relatives of mine that have some issues, and I missed something, right?
Okay.
I said, you know what, this guy looks okay. It turns out there was a criminal background.
Yes.
Because I wasn't in this one particular correct database where I thought I was, right? And I'm really good at that stuff.
Yes.
And I surprised myself. And when that happened, I said, it's changed.
Yes.
You know, everybody has their own database now. And you really need an expert to know what you're doing, say what you're doing, right? That's the whole trick.
Right.
Now, here's what else I worry about. That the small Joe the plumber guy who should know some of this stuff can't afford to know it.
Yes.
So we talking enterprise level for your services?
Yeah, we on a B2C kind of level, we just don't, always fit a great, spot with certain people. But for enterprises that have a lot of these needs, that do it at scale, that do it, a lot often, then that's where we fit best.
So what is their number one thing they hire you for? Is it going to be brand protection? Is it going to be... There's the obvious threats, but a private corporation doesn't necessarily have a terrorist threat profile. Some do, obviously, right?
Depending on travel.
It could be, right.
Right.
But is most of it, listen, people are bad-mouthing our brand. We want to find out about that. Is that kind of...
For sure. I think that's just good practice at this point, is to just know what your brand is, in the open source and, what people are saying about you.
Because that could take you down
impacts.
Before the terrorist does.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But no, I think to just... the thing that I always tell people that we do is anytime you want to know more about a company or a person, then that's where we plug in. So it could be for any number of reasons. So whether it is small enterprise, whether it's terrorist threat, whether it's, brand reputation, it all kind of distills down into an expert and some really cool technologies and capabilities and some information that protects you.
Now, do you take your data internally, crunch it, and come back with information? Protected. You're not going to talk about your clients per se.
Right.
But if you have 1,000 clients, can you say, listen, of our 1,000 clients, here's what's trending? So do you get specific data out of that kind of thing?
Well, we have experts in various things. So we have a lot of former law enforcement, military, agency guys. We just brought in a brilliant guy that is like a virtual CISO. And those guys are talking to all kinds of people. I'm talking to all kinds of people. So we're really kind of taking that cumulative information that we're hearing back and we're applying it to what we do and making sure that we are more helpful. Is there
a trend this year that wasn't last year, or something that's emerging that we might want to be looking at?
I mean, cyber's always the buzz. You know, that's the thing, but it's the buzz in a way that I think people are starting to realize it's not IT. That cyber doesn't equate to your technical stuff. Cyber is that world, and it's just another place that threats come from.
Right. So if you're going to tell somebody what they should start looking at right now, focusing on what advice might you give them to start looking at this? Maybe somebody's not committed, they want to do it. Push them over the edge and tell them why they should.
So, like anything, figure out where you're having a problem, what's not working for you, and start reaching out, having those conversations. Make sure that you have the resources that you need, so that when the time does come, that you're not scrambling to find someone.
Yes, that's the point. They do. They
So
do.
that's what we do. We start the relationship, we build the relationship, and then we understand their business and what they do. And then at the end of the day, they know who to come to.
And you guys are local here in Chicago?
We are
You're
in
global,
Chicago.
but I mean, one of your bases, yeah.
We're headquartered in Chicago. We have offices outside of D.C. in McLean. We also have a Dublin office, and we just this month, opened a New York office.
Fantastic. Give us your name and website one more time.
Cool. Stephanie Drysdale, and I'm with Prescient. It's Prescient.
I'm glad you can spell it. That's
I
fantastic.
can.
And I know you're right
practiced.
next to our ASIS hub. You know your
I
booth number?
am. It's 2437.
Right, 2437. Check them out. Back in a minute here at GSX TV live from GSX in Chicago. I don't know where I am half the time. I got to try and remember. We're back in a minute.